Welcome to Everyday Reviews. If you're one of the lucky 500 people that have pre-ordered this vehicle, the EV9, you're really gonna wanna watch this episode of Everyday Reviews. We're here in beautiful Arizona to check it out. All right, here she is. You know what? Size-wise, if you're wondering, you know, it's hard to see on video, but if you're familiar with the Kia Telluride, well, this is almost the same size as that Telluride in length, in height, and width. It's a little bit more narrow. However, the wheelbase on this has been extended 200 millimeters because this is based on Kia's EGMP all-electric platform. You'll see it has a very boxy, edgy shape. In some ways, it's kind of like a more modern, big Kia Soul. This is the GT line. It comes with 21-inch wheels. If you go to the base model, it starts with 19-inch wheels. The Land Plus, which is one below this, gets 20-inch wheels, and you'll see, listen here, these are plastic covers over alloy wheels. First of all, it's going to be easy to replace them if you do, you know, a little bit of curbing on them, but it also helps in aerodynamics as well. I'd like to see what it looks like without it on. The GT line also gets you a lot of black accents on here. Up front here, you'll see you do have color-coded inlets. This is like an air curtain that goes straight through, and look at this, that's digital grille. Now, all Kia EV9s come standard with this type of animation when you start it up. If you go for the GT line and you buy a subscription, you can get options to get additional animations on this. Down the road, they might even customize them. Also on the base model, you get LED lights, but they're projector style, not like these small little 12 jewel style lights they have on here. All right, open up the front, or frunk, and you'll see we have our charger that fits in here. Now, pretty decent amount of space in here. We also have the V2L because this is equipped with that 1900 watts of AC power. You can power everything from your coffee machine to your blender, all that. If you get the rear wheel drive version of the EV9, this is double in size. So a lot more room because you don't have all those electronics for the front motor. Along the side, more black accents on the mirror, on the roof rails. You do get the retractable door handles here, and we were told that in some testing or real world testing, even with ice on them, they still popped out, which is great news for us Canadians. Now here's an interesting thing. First of all, this is the very first mainstream 3-row electric SUV on the market right now, and it's big, it's boxy, it's futuristic, it's modern, but it has the same drag coefficient as the EV6, which is that, you know, sporty, sleek looking thing. So they have done a really good job here. Open up the back door. Look how wide and how big the opening is on this back door. Easy for people to get in and out of. Nice step in height. When you sit in here, it's very, very natural. Great for kids, or maybe if you have someone that has mobility issues or someone elderly. Onto the back, you have this really unique type of star design LED light treatment here. This is the future that we're really looking at here. Very flat design. You got that nice Kia logo. You have a hidden wiper underneath this roof spoiler here. Makes it look very clean. This is equipped with an automatic or smart tailgate. It's not activated right now, so it'll just open up if you're close to it with your key fob. But once you're open, you have a really good amount of space behind the third row. You have power folding third row seats on this GT line. You can fold down that second row, get a nice flat cargo area. Underneath there is some spare space. There is no spare tire, but you do get a tire inflator kit. That's it for the outside. Let's check out inside. The interior of the new EV9 is a real fresh, modern looking living space. It doesn't look really like anything else in the Kia lineup. And yeah, this is a very special vehicle. This right now, it's their flagship vehicle. So right up front, what you'll see, a brand new infotainment system. This is their new CCNC, and it's not even the same as what we saw recently on the Hyundai Santa Fe. It's the same architecture, but this one comprises of 3 screens. You get two 12.3-inch screens that we commonly see, but there's also a separate 5-inch screen in between, and that has all your heating controls. If you want to go full screen on that, you can actually go full screen to see where all your air is being directed. But I love the fact they've included actual tactile buttons for your temperature and your fan control, also your volume control, unlike the EV6 where they had that kind of dual mode button for volume and heat control. They've gone away with that. Love that. Thank you so much, Kia. Above that, they have kind of these embedded buttons that have haptic feedback, and when the vehicle is off, they don't light up, you don't see them at all, giving you a really nice clean look in this cabin. A very squared off large steering wheel. This one is heated. This new system also supports wireless Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, also digital keys, so you don't even need to actually have your key fob, and you don't even have to take your phone out on this new version out of your pocket. It just could be right in your pocket. You come up to the door, it'll unlock, you get in, and you just hit that EV start button and off you go. The system is very responsive, it's quick, the graphics are so much more clear. You also get a new head-up display. It's available, by the way. We're in the GT line, as we mentioned, and you get so much information in that head-up display. Now, I do find on the haptic, the kind of like the virtual buttons, sometimes, I guess it all depends on how moist your hands are. I've hit the, I've touched it a little bit, it didn't quite register. But yeah, otherwise, I do really enjoy using this system. Very easy to use. Storage-wise, we have a floating middle console here. We have under the armrest, it's a little bit of a pocket here, and you have your wireless charging, NFC as well. In front of that, you do have a sliding compartment where you can open, and it does have 2 retractable cup holders. So if you don't need the cup holders, you can actually fold them in and just use that as storage. You also have a trough area underneath there, which I do like. It's not completely open, and that's nice because it prevents things from sliding over onto the side of the driver or the passenger, and that's safer as well. USB-C connections all over the place. And the design and materials on this EV9 are first rate. All vehicles come standard with 2-tone interior. You can even get a brown interior, and everything, they've used 10 different styles of bio or recyclable material in this vehicle. So lots of soft touch areas, and you got to think, they're trying to get away from using leather, and you couldn't really tell if it's actually leather or not. It's very comfortable. Comfort-wise, we have power seats here. We have ergo seats. These will actually, you can program it in the system. You can also turn it off. They'll actually kind of move around. They use air bladders just to kind of get your circulation going. You can time it, let's say after an hour of driving, that it'll come on. And that's just, just to keep you a little bit awake. And comfort seats. The GT line comes with the first and second row where you can actually put the seat nice and far back, and you actually have an ottoman or a leg rest that comes up too. So can be handy if you're charging. We'll talk about charging speeds in a second for sure. What else does this thing have? Well, we get 2 sunroofs, one up front here. That one opens as well, and one in the back, which is very large. That one does not open, but does let a lot of light in. We have the Meridian sound system on here. Even the Kia badge in the center of the steering wheel lights up, and it's very faint. So at nighttime, it has this little bit of a glow. It's not glaring. I just have to reiterate, they just did a really good job. All the lines look really smooth on here. The door handles integrate into this trim here. It's almost a little, like a little scan design a little bit. It's very modern. All right, we're in the second row of the new EV9. You know what? It's very similar in size on the inside as the Telluride as well. Lots of room, but you even feel that you even have more room because this is an EV. Based on the EGMP platform, a completely flat floor. It's great. It just feels just like you have way more room. But these are the 2 captain seats that you get if you go into the higher trim levels. If you go into the lower trim levels, you can get the 3-passenger bench seat. These seats, once again, they're made out of recycled and biomaterials. This vehicle just has a real premium feel. Now, up here, you actually have a digital display for your HVAC controls, and this uses a completely separate system for the second and third row than the first row. So the advantage of that, first of all, it's quicker to get heat or cooling because it doesn't have to come all the way from the front, and it's and it's not so hard on the system. We have air vents up here. You have auto controls. It looks really clean, and it frees up this center area because the center area you have 2 cup holders, but you have this sliding additional console here, so you can put items here, maybe your device while it's charging, because you have USB-Cs on the side of each seat, or if you slide it, that top, you actually have additional storage and deep storage at that for the rear passengers as well. These seats though on the GT line, fully powered, and you have that extendable footrest on here as well, heated and ventilated for these second row seats, just like the front seat as well. If you have kids, you have a great manual sunshade on here, and an adjustable armrest, all the soft touch on the roof liner. Even this, check this out. These headrests, they have adjustable wings on them. Very much like a business class seat. That's what it feels like you're riding here. You kind of ride up fairly high in here too. The interior really is well thought out. It's well designed. It has a real premium feel. Once again, I love this satin finish on the door handles, how everything's integrated and they have really nice shapes. Even the backs of the front seats, they're shaped and they have an opening here. You could easily hang your jacket here as well. Seat back pockets aren't like a mesh. They're full on a hard plastic pocket. So yeah, very, very well done. So most people are gonna sit in the second row when you have passengers, but occasionally you need some extra capacity. So they're gonna be in the third row. Let's check it out. All right, close that door. Now to bring the seat back, I can just hit the same button. Now here's something interesting. I don't know if you can see my knees here. It's gonna squish me. Actually, it touched my knee and it sensed it and it moved itself about ½ an inch forward. If I wanted more room, I could actually move this further up, but I just wanted to show you that feature first of all and show you that my knees are now not touching. My feet fit comfortably underneath the second row. And yeah, we have our own air vent here. We have drink holder. We have USB-C, we have our headrests. It's actually very comfortable here for 2 people. And I just discovered there is, on the GT line, you actually do get power third row seats as well. So that's handy for folding them, but you can recline them. This is how far it reclines for the third row. That's a lot. But without that, let's just bring it back about to here. Really, really good headroom back here. I'd have no issue going on, a 1 hour ride back here at all. And this person in front of me definitely could actually go further forward without even touching the seat. So, this is a mid-sized vehicle with a third row, but this is way more than just a jump seat. This is a proper third row seat, 2 of them at least. 3, 2, 1, sport mode. EV9. To the floor, there's 60 right there. That is pretty quick for a huge or pretty big 3-row electric SUV, I gotta say. So for this model, there are different batteries, different drivetrains. There is a smaller battery that is 76.1 kilowatt hours, and that is matched to a rear wheel drive configuration that gives you 370 kilometers of range and 215 horsepower. So if you go into the larger battery, that's a 99.8 kilowatt hour battery, you actually bump that range up in the long range to the biggest, which is 489 kilometers, and the horsepower actually goes down though. You go from 215 to 201. That's just basically because of the wiring, but don't worry, you still get the same amount of torque, which is 256 pound-feet. Then you get into the all-wheel drive with the larger 99.8 kilowatt hour battery. Hope you're following along here, and that gives you all the goodness. So you get a total of 379 horsepower and 516 pound-feet of torque. Now, I've said this before, I'm a real big fan, and I've been waiting for a vehicle like this to come around, because this is my style of vehicle. I think that larger vehicles, like larger 3-row SUVs, or this like mid-size, mid to large SUV like this, they really deserve to be electrified, whether it's hybrid, plug-in hybrid, or full battery electric, because notoriously they don't get the best fuel economy, and the small little cars, they don't burn that much fuel anyways, so it doesn't make as much sense to electrify a small car. Do these ones where you're carrying more people and more gear, and you're gonna save down the road, plus you're gonna get like the ultimate SUV. So if you're a fan of vehicles like the Telluride, which you want that capacity for the 3rd row for the extra people in your gear, but you don't want to pay that much in fuel because fuel cost is really high right now, then get one of these, but not just because of your pocketbook. It's because of performance. 379 horsepower, that is a lot more than what the Telluride or any of the competition has in the gas form right now. And I'm telling you, when you drive this thing, this is a big vehicle. It doesn't feel that big. When you're turning around, yes, you'll feel the size of how big it is, but it's very light to drive. The steering's nice and easy and light for when you're maneuvering around in tight areas and parking lots, and it feels very, very planted. That's one thing you gotta say. So we're doing right now 65 miles an hour on a rough road. This is a very, very kind of like an aggregate style pavement that's here. It's very quiet. It's very, very quiet. You can really listen to that Meridian stereo very nicely. And when you put your foot into this, even at this speed, you still get that pullback. By the way, in the co-pilot seat today, we have Dan the Wheelman. All right, he's another automotive journalist. Check out his channel. I'll put a link down there, and he does all sorts of reviews as well. But anyways, we've been having a good time in the Arizona area. There's not a bad place to film around here. Everything is just spectacular. The scenery is stunning around here with all the cactus and cacti, I guess you would call it. We actually took this off pavement. I won't say off road, but we weren't really doing a lot of rock crawling or anything. But off pavement, this thing did very well.
It's not made to rock crawl anyway.
No, but on the gravel roads, so let's get into the drive modes. We have the regular ones that you normally know of, which is the economy, normal, sport, or a custom mode. But we have a terrain mode button as well on the steering wheel. And what's unique to Canada, we get multiple terrain modes. We not only get snow mode that other markets get, but we also get sand and mud. And I put it in like that mud dirt mode when we're on the off-road, and it really allows you to basically, I was gonna say get the revs up. Well, there's no revs on this engine, but it allows a lot more spinning of the tires, and you can have a lot more fun with it. So I'm glad that Canada finally gets something special that other people don't get, because normally we're kind of left behind. Now this is also equipped with Highway Driving Assistant 2. So it's basically like a semi-autonomous system right now. This water bottle's rattling. So you can go hands off. You do have lane keep assist as well on here. Just as every generation gets developed, it just gets better and better. This also has the latest remote smart park assist. So you can use the computer basically to park yourself. You could be outside the car or inside. I have this system in my Ioniq 5, and I actually have used it a few times, not to parallel park, but actually to back a car in or out of a tight spot, because you can do it all with the key fob, but now it's actually more advanced. You can do diagonal parking and all sorts of things. So that is equipped with that. Some people are asking about the heat pump. Yes, the base model does not come with a heat pump, but as soon as you get out of the base, you do get a standard heat pump with this. Okay, so you get a large 3-row SUV, you're probably hauling your family around. Guess what? You may also want to haul something else, like maybe some jet skis or a small travel trailer. Towing capacity on here, I'm actually impressed. If you equip it with the towing package, so you get the trailer hitch and you get the 7-pin connector and the trailer brakes, this is capable of towing 5,000 pounds. That's really, really impressive given the weight of this vehicle already, and you're gonna tow 5,000 pounds. So that's really, really well done. All right, now for what everybody wants to know, it's the price. So the base price, which is the smaller battery, rear wheel drive, starts at just under $60,000. Next up, for another $3,000, you go into the what they call wind rear wheel drive, and that's with the larger battery pack and more range, 489 kilometers. And that also gets you the heat pump, and that's an extra $3,000. So I can't see why anyone would actually go for that $60,000 one. But because of that price, it's going to qualify for a lot of rebates. So make sure to check with your local Kia website and your jurisdiction if there are any rebates available for you there. Next up, you get into the first all-wheel drive version. Now, all the all-wheel drives come with a larger battery, and you get 451 kilometers of range, and you also get, that's a 5,000-pound towing capacity with the all-wheel drive with the towing package. Add on $10,000 and you get what they call Land Plus Premium package, and that gives you a whole bunch of things that I would like, which is the side parking sensors, the blind spot monitor, you get the V2L, you also get the ventilated front and second row seat, and that's where you'll get into the captain seats for the second row. And the top line GT line pack that we're driving right now is $78,995. Now that gets a little bit reduced range at 439 kilometers, mainly due to the 21-inch wheels. Even with those aero covers, the larger the wheel, most of the time you're gonna get a little bit less range on that, but you also get a head-up display and the second row relaxation seats, and also self-leveling rear suspension. So if you have a heavy load or your trailer, that's going to level it all out. Final thoughts, I'm serious, this might sound like this has been a love affair with this car, but I've been really considering, and I've been really looking forward to the launch of this vehicle, because this is something that we would consider for sure, and I'm having a hard time finding some negative points about this vehicle. Let's go with the highs. Well, powertrain option, you have 379 horsepower, lots of power. You got all-wheel drive if you want it. You have top range if you want to go with a rear-wheel drive. So it's got a big battery. 800-volt system. I'm not sure, we didn't even touch on that, but all the EGMP platform vehicles have the 800-volt system. So charging, I'll put the times right down there. Super, super quick on that. That's a huge plus as well. Plus, this is the 4th generation battery on this vehicle, which is the first for Kia on this. So this 4th generation has higher power density. It has better and more simple circuitry and wiring. What does that mean to you? Well, it means that it's kind of a more compact, a smarter battery. If you have an issue with it, for instance, it's easier to diagnose and to change out cells on here. Next thing, the styling. I really like it. I'm looking forward to seeing this in some of the other colors that they have as well, especially that red, and they have a new green as well. I think it's boxy, but it's modern. This is really the future of an SUV, and something that I would actually be very proud to drive for sure, and my family as well. Interior, top-notch materials, touch points, the CCNC system, home run, wireless Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, that digital key. It's got everything. Then you get into the back. More and more pluses back there. As you can see, usable third row. Of course, lots of space. If you want, more room, of course, you can go to a full-size SUV. Remember, this is a mid-size SUV. So what's negative? The only thing that I could really kind of find negative, and this isn't just to this vehicle, but why do manufacturers always assume that if you want the top of the line model or close to the top of the line, they're going to give you captain seats in the second row? I understand, yes, it gives you more of a luxurious experience, but a lot of people want some of the features that you would get like on this top of the line GT line, but they don't want to lose out on capacity, so they could have a 7-passenger vehicle instead of just a 6-passenger. So I would really like some of the manufacturers, including Kia, to kind of rethink that, maybe at least give it as an option. But yeah, otherwise, I had high expectations of this vehicle coming in, and they were all met. So well done, Kia, and you never know, I may be driving one of these in the future. At the beginning, I said, if you ordered one of these, you got to watch this video. I'm going to say right now, if you ordered one of these EV9s, you will not be disappointed at all. So that's it from Arizona. Hope you enjoyed the video. Make sure to like and subscribe. Bye.
See ya.